You will never see fans like this in England. Fans still like this despite getting battered 6-1. Today we experienced some of the loudest fan bases nobody back in Britain talks about. Before we find out more about the two clubs, I've got to say that this trip got intense very, very quickly. After filming some cars, we stumbled across some ultras who, as to be expected, were not entirely happy with outsiders on their turf. So, ladies and gents, here we go. The perfect place to start today's video. I'm outside this beautiful car. Now look at this. We've mentioned the only former East German club to win a major European trophy, and they've got it on the back of the bloody screen. Look at that, beautiful. And our parking is over there. Look at that, look how convenient we are to the Avnet Arena. Perfect, the sun's shining. Unfortunately, we got some bloody YouTubers with us. They're gonna put a little dampener on things. We got Jebbo hanging out of his ass from a late night last night.
Rejuvenated now since this morning, to be fair. I've had plenty of sleep, rejuvenated and ready to go, so...
Sounds good.
Fucking have it.
You're doing better than Philip. Philip's just pooed himself.
Yeah.
he just soiled his pants. And then we've got Big Joel over there who did spend
I lost about 10 pounds on the toilet.
He was up all night because he couldn't sleep because everyone else is making noise. We know that he hit the strip and did a bit of gilf hunting, didn't you, Big Joel?
Gilf, bastard.
He was after the grannies. Anyway, we're not after the grannies. We're after a fantastic game because last night in Morecambe, it really wasn't that great. So let's go and explore bloody Magdeburg. Let's go. Okay guys, before you go wild in the comment section, this was necessary guys, wasn't it? This was a tactical manoeuvre, Joel. Essentially we've been cornered 2 times, quite aggressively, by the ultras, so we need to blend in.
The first guys were at least like,
yeah,
they were nice about it, like you shouldn't be here, and basically told us to move on. But the
last
guy
guy
just almost ran.
It's always the short ones, Joel, isn't it?
Nah, you can tell. Like
yeah, I'm not gonna play him up.
you can tell which
guys are tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just stopped at the wrong spot.
Yeah. Glorious sunny day, and obviously if you're a subscriber you'll know I've got a fascination with Ost Deutschland. I love learning about the DDR, I love learning about the Oberliga, and of course the history that's often overlooked in the former East Germany. We do have a statue over here again. I believe it's the Cup Winners' Cup. Let's have a look. Right guys, I knew they were definitely iffy about filming in the east of Germany. They really do not like vloggers, YouTubers, but the weird situation is none of us had actually had our cameras out at that point. They must have heard us speaking in English and our accents, and that was it straight away. People were cornering us. Where are you from? Why are you here? Where are you sitting? You must donate. So like, like a group of pussies, we've gone to the fan shop and gone a little bit more discreet. But again, I'm just tucked away behind a tree here, hiding. But I'm sure everyone else is going to be really, really nice. Obviously, we're not going to be too pushy, and we're just trying to showcase Magdeburg and obviously Eintracht Braunschweig in a positive light. Trying to show them exactly why their fan culture is incredible. And I get it, I fully get it. Nobody wants German football to become like the Premier League, sanitised tourists. And unfortunately we are tourists, but we're tourists that are putting money into the club, and again, here for positive reasons, not to expose them. Because I've heard this is one of the loudest fan bases in Germany, especially in the Zweite Liga. So I got myself 1 beer, let's settle the nerves and brace yourself for a bumpy ride. This could be carnage. Ladies and gents, welcome back to Football Paradise. Now we will crack on with a video in a moment, but we have the pleasure of a sponsorship. Oh yes, Oxford Natural have sponsored Rise Football Paradise, but I'm here to tell you why both Optimum Day and Optimum Night might well work for you. Now I'm not going to give you any broken promises. You know I like to keep things transparent and honest on the channel, but both of these products, especially in the football community, have really started to get people noticing. You've got Optimum Day, which helps with everyday energy, keeping down the cravings and keeping you on track. Trust me, when you're travelling across the country, sometimes overseas, walking miles around football grounds and editing late into the night, you need that extra bit of fuel. Then you've got Optimum Night, which is all about the recovery, getting a proper night's sleep and letting your body reset so that you're ready for the next match day journey. It's simple, nothing crazy, but people are clearly getting results with it. When you start seeing names that we all know across the game, like Michael Owen, an England legend who's 35 pounds down. Then you've got Robbie, the Don from AFTV. He's lost over 80 pounds. But then there's people outside the football niche. You've got an immigration worker called Anita. She's over 44 pounds down. There's Linda, a business executive, more than 50 pounds down. You've really got to start taking notice. So I've been hearing about this product more and more from the lads in the industry. It's my time to give it a go. Maybe you should do too, because as I said, football fans aren't necessarily the healthiest, but as we get older, we have to start taking care of ourselves, don't we? So follow the QR code on screen, follow the link in the description below, and make sure you use the code RYFP for a whopping 70% off your first order. Thanks again to Oxford Natural for sponsoring today's video. Right guys, so a nice discreet place. I've got the Meta glasses on, so if anyone has a problem with filming, we're all good, we're covered. Just had my first bite of this beautiful bratwurst. Now this was €4, €4, and first bite was good. Not the biggest of bratwurst, but enough to set me off. Beautiful. Today we're in Magdeburg, a city I've wanted to visit for a long time, and a game to kick off the new season of the Zweite Bundesliga, which gets me really excited. Most overseas football fans or fans of German football would look at this fixture and roll their eyes and just bypass it, but not me, ladies and gents, because this is a face-off between two traditional German football clubs with both very different stories. Of course, on one side we've got FC Magdeburg, officially founded in 1965, but of course they were part of the old East Germany, the DDR or GDR as we say. German football clubs on the East were reorganised numerous times, a lot of the time for propaganda reasons, so you have to take some of these founding dates and name changes with a pinch of salt, because Magdeburg's history goes far earlier than 1965. They shocked the world and achieved arguably East Germany's greatest ever success. They're the only club from the East to ever win a major European trophy. They won the European Cup Winners' Cup, beating AC Milan 2-0. They'd obviously win 3 DDR Oberliga titles, I guess the East German equivalent of the Bundesliga, and they very much were a competitive force during those days under the Iron Curtain. Now on the other side you've got Eintracht Braunschweig. Now if I said Eintracht to most people around here, they probably follow on with Frankfurt, but Eintracht Braunschweig, a founding member of the Bundesliga in 1963, they also won, or they shocked the world, definitely shocked Germany, by winning the Bundesliga in the 1966-67 season. So when you think about one of Germany's oldest clubs, a founding member of the Bundesliga, former Bundesliga champion, everything incredibly traditional, but they broke the mold of that tradition by becoming the first team, definitely in Germany, possibly in Europe, maybe even the world, who knows. They're often credited as to being the first team with a shirt sponsor. It was incredibly controversial at the time. Jägermeister, the drink we all love, a nice Jaeger bomb and a Red Bull, beautiful, but they were sponsoring Eintracht Braunschweig. They tried to ban it, so what they did creatively was they changed their badge, so they had the Jägermeister stag in the badge, and obviously that opened the doors, that paved the way to shirt sponsorship as we know it. So tradition in one sense, revolutionary in another sense, but when you put them side by side, I mean geographically they're fairly close. Magdeburg, again we mentioned, were on the east, whereas Eintracht Braunschweig would have been on the west, or West Germany as it was known back then. In 1987 they became partner cities, what we call town twinning here in England, but with that said, fairly local in terms of a competitive game. Both teams want to crack on and start this league season well. So only one question remains, guys. Magdeburg or Eintracht Braunschweig? Who will come out on top of this opening game in the new Zweite Bundesliga season? It's going to be a good one. Let's go.
Willkommen mit der Bühne
So Jebbo, quite a contrast in terms of the way the fans are in here. Really, really nice. Unfortunately, they're nice despite their team losing 4-0.
Yeah, I mean, look, as I said in my vlog as well, like, you come here, it seems to be very, at the beginning it was very hostile in terms of the ultras, and I think you might have spoken about that a little bit. However, you come here, everyone around us is so friendly, by the way. Shake your hands, they don't even know you're out, they're just here for the vibes, here for the culture. But in terms of the game, it's pretty much all Braunschweig. They're playing like prime Barcelona, but that's pretty much counter-attack, counter-attack, counter-attack. Magdeburg, the moment it's 2-0 down, you gotta figure out as a manager that, look, this isn't working, you need to change it up. It then goes to 3-0 straight after the hydration break, and then a player gets sent up, and he's still persistent with the same tactics. Just because about 7-8 nil, I don't really know what to say, but for the people who are staying fair play, because if this was in England, we'd all be going home by now.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people shaking hands and saying their goodbye. It's not just because they're going for a bratwurst, another pint of beer and a piss. They've said Auf Wiedersehen. That's a very English thing to do, walking out before the end of the game. But when you're watching your team down to 10 men, losing 4-0, it could be 8-0. Do you blame them? Beating the traffic. There was us fearing for our lives at the start of the game. But will Magdeburg survive the Zweite Bundesliga this season?
Like this, probably not, mate.
Yeah, I'd like to make a formal apology to the people of Braunschweig. I upset you by putting you bottom on my prognose, my Zweite Liga predictions. Playing like this, there's no way Eintracht Braunschweig are going to get relegated. So a formal apology from me. I think they're going to be pushing promotion. But is it a good Braunschweig performance, or is it an absolute diabolical FC Magdeburg performance? Get involved in the comments below, guys. And if you are enjoying the video, make sure you do hit that like button.
Tor für den FC Magdeburg. Erfolgreich der Spieler mit der Nummer 22, Matthäus.
Filming around people, but it's quickly emptying. For a moment, I started to feel like I was back in England watching the Premier League, with all the crowd leaving it at the 60th minute to beat the traffic. Guys, what a difference 2 hours can make. We walked this street a few hours ago in fear of the ultras, fearing that we might have to pay 40 euros. I even had to buy a pair of Magdeburg's glasses, I had to buy a Magdeburg scarf just to survive. But I'm vlogging because everyone here is so nice. Despite losing 6-1, The Magdeburg fans, guys, are really nice, weren't they?
Yeah, they were boss, to be fair.
My pants might be not soiled.
Brown.
And I think that's the moral of the story, Jebbo. Don't let one arsehole ruin your day, guys. Don't stereotype a whole fan base or a whole group of people just from one arsehole. I mean, if you watch my videos, you might think that Borkum are all knobheads, wouldn't you? If you watch my videos.
Say that you're an arsehole.
Yeah, because I'm an arsehole, you might think. I'm only joking, guys. Prost, on to the next one.